Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 22nd episode of Concerned Dabs podcast. I am your host, Katie M. Kane. With me is my co host, Will Turp.
Yo, yo.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight is Farmer Dale from Hell's Canyon Cannabis Company. And it's Olympus. Olympus Gardens is the other brand that
Yeah,
you're
Mount Olympus Gardens. Yeah, Mount
Mount
Olympus
Olympus
Gardens. Yep.
Gardens. All right. Cool, man. Very
Yeah.
All right. So let me switch to my cookie cutter questions here for you, Dale. I know I did a small intro for you, but can you please give us your name, your location, your company's name, and whether recreational or medical?
Yeah. Our location is Asotin County, Washington. We are a recreational farm, and we are an indoor farm. And then what was the other question?
Name, location, company, rec, medical, etc. Whatever else you want to share.
Yeah. And then my name Dale. My name's Dale Intel. Been in the cultivation game for cannabis only for honestly, 13 or 14 months. I became the lead grower. I haven't really grown cannabis before. Before this, I have a lot of agricultural experience as a crop production, manager. But yeah, so
That's tight.
blessing.
What
Honestly,
kind
this
of stuff
is
did you
this
grow in
is.
the regular farm game?
Let's see, sweet corn, sweet peas. And then I had my own little farm, sweet corn and pumpkins, and just selling it on the side of the road. Um, and then I worked for a seed breeding company in Australia for sweet corn and popcorn and just check crops really for them, roguing
Oh,
out
dude, that
off
must
type
have been.
corn varieties and stuff like that. So yeah, that was fun.
Dude, did you guys like breed indigenous genetics too, like the Indian corn and everything from down there?
Yeah, in Australia they did actually. They had a bunch like popcorn seeds are like literally pink, man. It's crazy to see a popcorn like piece of corn kettle like grow. It's really cool. And then they have a lot of different varieties down there that they're breeding, and then what they do is the company would ship their varieties like up to the US so that they could get grown in a different environment,
Yeah.
bred for different, environmental stress things, and then take that seed, ship it back to Australia. They just ship it back and forth to make the varieties and the strains, stronger and stronger for drought resistance or mold.
Dude, that's tight, man. Does that make you want to get into cannabis breeding? Are you still there, Dale? Oh, his feet cut out. God. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give him a second to bounce back. All right, there you are, Dale. Can you hear us, Dale? Can you hear us? I can see your video. I cannot hear
Can
you
see
talk
him,
yet.
yeah. Can't hear him either.
Damn, that was a good start too, man. The Australia shit, man. Tight. All right, can you do a mic check real quick, Dale? Dang. Well, dang. Type him a message here real quick.
Yeah, see if he can leave and come back. Oh, it looks like his mute thing is flashing on and off on this thing.
Yeah. Can you hear us now, Dale?
Try the mute thing.
Can you
Looks like
talk? Like we can see you, but we can't hear you, Dale. Dang. Bummer. Yeah, you must just have a slow connection there.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Sorry about that, man. I couldn't hear there for a minute.
Yeah, it's all good, man. We have technical difficulties when we broadcast live. We're in 4 different places, so
it's
um
inevitable.
yeah, if we can just stick with the
Yeah,
audio, then that's cool.
yeah, that's cool. Yep, I
Okay.
can see you guys, so we'll stick with that.
So that's cool that you work for a corn breeding company. in
Yeah,
Australia.
and
That's where it went out. And then you said
ye-
that they ship their genetics all over. They have them bred and then shipped back. Like, does that make you want to get into cannabis breeding? Was my question.
oh man, yeah. That's kind of, that question that you're going to ask at the end, what do I want to do in the future in
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait
business
till we
is,
get to that one, bro.
get into
Wait till we
genetic
get to that one.
breeding.
Tight,
Yeah.
tight. Yeah.
No
I
worries. No
Me
worries. But
too,
yeah, that
brother.
is something that would in the future, yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
Just please don't be like
Yeah,
Monsanto.
it's
Yeah, yeah. No
yeah.
GMOs. No
No
Yeah,
GMOs.
exactly.
GMOs.
There's a lot of crap out there that's there's shady shit that happens,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
not
hard
not say,
to
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's hard to know if you're because the companies that I were working for were really small and private. So like that, I was in a blessing, blessed that I worked for a small seed company. But yeah, if, you work for a large outfit, like shoot, you don't know exactly what's going on in those because vegetable seed breeding's been around for so long that GMO's been around forever, and it's just something that people do now. So it's
No, definitely.
it's just one of
And
those
I feel like
things.
it takes on a different meaning, whether, when it's uh, cannabis versus food, but, in the same sense, uh, I don't know, with things growing the way they are, it's kind of inevitable that that a lot of these like big agricultural producers get into cannabis, just inevitable.
Yeah, yeah. Goddamn them,
Yeah,
Will. Goddamn them. All right.
yeah,
So,
I feel that.
you said you've only been cultivating for like 13 months as far as cannabis. So, do you feel like most of the game still applies? And it, like, because you have garden game, obviously, if you've been to Australia to do work on a breeding farm, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
is that how you landed the job?
yeah. It translated pretty easily. If you can keep a vegetable garden alive, um, you can learn the things that you need to learn about cannabis to keep your plants alive. And
Absolutely.
Yep.
it's been a huge learning curve. Because cannabis is it can be fickle. And
Yeah.
you can grow it in so many different ways.
Yep.
So thankfully, we do a practice soil grown practice, True Living Organics, and it's pretty simple. So I learned it pretty easy because I have taken a soil course in college. I don't have any college degrees or nothing, but took the course and learned a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
that,
That
and then
counts,
just my
man.
experience, and then just kind of any experience that I learned from past jobs, checking crops, just apply it to what I can to cannabis and try and do my best. Really, it's so
Yeah, man. I'm sure you have a lot more experience too with identifying pests and everything too.
yeah,
Um,
that's
I,
yeah,
I was cultivating cannabis for probably like 7 years in Oregon, and a lot of times it was like you could just Google a picture and you could figure it out. Sometimes the pest would be so small that you need 100 times scope, and I would assume it was a nutrient deficiency until somebody told me. I was like, man, look up broad mites, and I fucking looked up broad mites, and that is exactly how my plant looked, but I couldn't see the bug, so I got the 100 times scope, and it was like, holy shit, they're fucking everywhere. You know what I mean?
yeah, yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
Oh, your audio cut out, Farmer Dale. Oh, we need you back, Farmer Dale.
What's up with the internet nowadays?
Yeah, goddamn. Okay, there he is. Can you hear us now, Farmer Dale?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Okay, sorry, I could hear you the whole time. Sorry.
yeah. It's all good, man. We,
Yeah,
we we have these issues, man. We can power through it, bro. We can
yeah,
edit in the end and re-upload.
cool. But to what you were saying, John, yeah, like identifying pests, and like you said, you had to ask somebody, and then they told you like Google it and look it up, and be like, oh yeah, that is how my plant looks, and then you just
Yeah,
had to figure out, look a little bit closer, and you could identify it. But I mean, cannabis, the pests that can be found on these plants are way different than you find out in a pea field, you know. So I've
Word.
been, that's one thing for me that I have little to no knowledge on still. I'm still learning about that. So
No doubt.
And I
Well,
will
that's
say
cool.
between the industries, I know, and I'm pretty sure on this that there's a big difference between whether you're potentially ingesting, like eating crops with pesticides on them versus like combusting potential crops with pesticides on them. It's kind of like, I don't know, like not that either one's that much better for you, but like it's just the same reason that beer doesn't have this like the same regulations as cannabis, because like ingesting pesticides versus adding heat to them is a completely different ball game.
I agree, Will.
yeah, that's totally true. I mean,
The whole the cartridge scare right now, that's what it's about. Like those bottled terps are okay, even if you heat them up, because most of them are made for candles. You know what I mean? To make your own little candles, but not to heat up
Yeah.
directly. Like that's not good for you. You know what I
Mm-mm.
yeah.
mean? So you guys said
And
you're doing living soil is one of your practices indoors. So you guys don't use newts. You guys just chef up the soil and just feed it water and tea, or like, can you elaborate on that a little?
yeah, I can. So we are an indoor, true living organic farm. But what we do is we've been recycling and re-amending our soil for about a year now, and we do use teas, but it's pretty much just like once a week during the weeks and months that it's allowed to be fed. We'll do teas for like molasses and like CalMag water, really. I mean,
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. What is it? Unsulfured sweet organic molasses. I would score that shit from Fred Meyer in Port. It was like $10 and it was it free trade? And it said it
sorry,
came from South America, so it said that the South Americans that grew the molasses were getting fair trade dollars for what I was paying at Fred Meyer. That shit was expensive, man, but it was good for growing microbes in the tea.
yeah. Sorry, I cut out there. I couldn't hear you a lot,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah,
it's all
we
good,
for the
man. I was talking about the molasses
yeah, it's
as
good,
with
man.
the main ingredient in the tea, man.
Yeah,
That shit's all the
water.
mic feed on
And I
that.
don't know if you guys have heard of.
Oh, I'm listening. Heard of what?
Oh yeah, just heard of Mammoth Microbes, the
Oh
company.
yeah, yep.
It's
Yeah.
just a high phos. Yeah, it's a high phos liquid that we add to our tea. And then we top dress as well. Just top dress like a recipe out of the book that we got our soil recipe from. So, and then just make sure that you do like a 28-day flush, so that the soil kind of just gets that fresh water through it a bunch before it's harvested, really.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Word. All right. Well, fuck, dude. It's awesome that you guys are growing in that manner too. Because a lot of people think that hydro is the best. You know what I mean? I understand your point of view, but it's not gonna taste and smell as good as if it was grown in some fucking living soil. It's just not, you know.
Hmm.
And it's dope that companies are not going with the big money. Let's get a bigger yield, more bag appeal. You know what I mean? Instead of
Yeah.
just like let's grow some good shit that we want to sell.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah. And
Yeah.
being a small farm, that's kind of, I mean, we can only push out so much product and produce so much. So it's kind of like, why don't we just hone our craft and produce good weed so that we can continue to sell it for the years to come, right? Like
yeah,
this industry's been so hard to be, a maintaining, your business, and there's so many farms that are getting shut down just because they can't keep their sales around. If you're not
yeah,
producing a quality product, you're not gonna stay around, right? I mean, that's kind of my mindset.
yeah. I agree, man. Like, who wants to be mids on the fucking shelf for cheap, man? I don't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to be.
Well, and it's not that these large farms or whatever or hydro farms that do push out peel are mids. It's just that they have so much more production going on that they can just sell it for whatever they want, right? Because they got way more weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's
Yeah.
quality is going down as recreational takes hold. I feel like a lot of the talented medical growers opted out of trying to get a rec license. They're like, man,
True.
fuck that. I'm not,
True.
I'm
Yeah.
still getting.
I'd say that that's subjective to the state, but
Okay.
I'm also inclined to agree with that, because I will say that, like, in Oregon, my observation now is that people are actually coming around and, like, actually, like I thought they would, because Oregon is a craft, like, Portland is a city known for its really good food and really good beer. Essentially, there's a lot of craft breweries around. There's even more craft restaurants producing, really good food. So I only, I thought cannabis would follow suit, but at the same time, it's there's still, like, people, it's still like this battle of, like, price and quality too. And I don't know, it's just it- hopefully it's people in other states can eventually come around, because it's been recreationally legal here for a few years, like in Washington. But uh yeah, it just kind of depends on, like, I mean, for me at least, like, state by state, the consumer is different, you know.
No doubt.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Down here in AZ, the product knowledge of the average consumer is only like 20% of what it is in Oregon.
Yeah, and not to say, like, there's still a bunch of people that come into the shop all the time that want, like, that ask immediately for, like, what's the best deal or what's the highest THC. Um, but I have noticed that, like, um just comparatively to 2 years ago, it's not as hard for me to sell, like, a higher quality product that's more, costs a little bit more, as it was, like, 2 years ago, me having to give the spiel why, why it costs this, why other products were less. So just think,
Yeah.
something I've noticed a little bit in Oregon. I don't know how other states have been dealing with it, or progressing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
really?
never actually been in any. Yeah. I've
No,
never
go
actually
ahead,
been
go
to
ahead.
any Oregon shops at all. So,
Damn,
Really?
when you
like,
go to
honestly, I
Oh.
don't
man,
even.
you gotta go to Natural Wonders, bro. Natural Wonders at the right by the fucking Fred Meyers on 39th and Hawthorne, bro. You gotta check them out. I used to work.
uh,
Will works there. I'm wearing the
I,
motherfucking old logo
Yeah,
on
the
my
shirt.
I
t-shirt
do.
right
Yeah.
now,
I do
repping
got a
for my
buddy. I do got a
guys. I
buddy that
hope
lives
that
down
grand
there, man. I
reopening
gotta
went
get make
good,
it
but
over
I
there.
gotta plug
Oh
those guys
yeah.
in right there, Farmer Dale, because I think you would appreciate the stuff that's on their shelf too. And they have seeds also, man. They got seeds.
Oh, oh, well then definitely I gotta hit up Oregon shops if every shop sells seeds. Dude, I got a friend in Portland. I guess should make it down there actually. You
Yeah.
guys, a lot of the farmers that you guys have been interviewing, or a couple of them are in your shop, right? Or in PDX Winners, right?
Yeah. Who the fuck? Did
Who
we
did we
have
do? A few, yeah. I'm trying to think. Actually, have we
Um,
done anyone that's a
I don't
grower
think
that's
we
in
did.
Portland?
Man, I've been trying
I
no,
don't
out Pig
think
Farm.
10
Pig
4
Farm.
Geek,
Pig Farm. We got Pig Farm
Farm,
on
but
there.
he's
pig
not in.
farmer.
He's not medical though. I mean, he's medical, but he's not in shop. He's not rec.
Oh,
So
he
Dude,
used to
I've
work
heard of
the
you
shop.
guys speak about Geek Farms, and I've seen them on Instagram actually. So yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
interviewed
those
them
guys are
yet,
tight.
but
We should
they're
try and get
they're
them on the
like
show.
one of the main farms we carry for sure.
Hit up Geek
Um,
Mike. Will, let's get him on the show too, bro.
right? Or Big
Yeah,
Samson. Samson would be a good. That dude's got stories for days. That'd be definitely a 2-hour episode. I can guarantee you
tight.
that.
All right. So, Farmer Deal, I'm gonna switch back to my cookie cutter questions. How have regulations changed since you started cultivating? I know it's been a short amount of time, but has there been any rule changes that you had to adapt to as a rec farmer in Washington?
Oh
Oh shoot,
no.
are you still there, Farmer Dale? We could not hear your audio, sir. Damn.
Oh,
Okay, I can hear you now. Uh, Farmer Dale, are you there?
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Hey,
sir.
all right. I heard your question, John. So,
Okay.
yeah. So it's been a short-lived, few months that I've been growing, but I've actually been working for the farm for like 2 years. So, I mean, yeah, a lot of things have changed in Washington. I'd say one thing major would be the pesticide list
Ah,
that came out in 2018, last year, and then that comes a bunch of regulations inside your farm. If you're if you do foliar sprays, the dosages that you use, you have to wear face masks, you have to wear, you know, respirators if it's a certain type of pesticide. And then to that extent, hopefully people in the cannabis industry aren't doing this, but if you're using a pesticide that's like really invasive, like you have to use like an actual respirator. So, um,
Jeez.
yeah. So the people that came to our inspection, they just told us, because we use a B25 essential oil that is a approved pesticide on the Washington State pesticide list. It's called Trifecta Crop Control.
trifecta.
Um, yeah, so you guys can look that up. But it's a foliar spray. We use it in veg, and then maybe like once or twice when it gets flipped to bloom to make sure that bug pressure goes down to zero. And then they tell us, use a mask, but like you can breathe actually with it. It's nice.
That's dope, man. That's
Yeah, but
dope.
then other than the other regulations, let's see. I mean, what else has changed? Oh, we never had to do a now that you have to put a 21 plus, like
You never had to
people
do
above
a what?
21. Um,
You never had to do a what?
never had to have never had to have a visible label of a disclaimer for a 21 plus. Like,
Oh, so you have to put that on your
Damn.
packaging now? Shit. You lost him again. Are you there, Farmer Dale?
yeah, I can hear you again, John. Can you hear
So you
me?
have to put the 21 and up warning label on your packaging now?
Yeah, that's they've been telling us that for like the last year actually, but it doesn't take effect until I think the end of this year. So
Okay.
2020, I guess it'll start.
And so you guys have to package it individually how it's to be sold too, correct? Like you don't sell pounds and the store breaks it down. It's in eighth parcels or quarter ounce parcels.
Yeah. Yep. So if you own a farm and a processing license, then you basically have to package it all. Yeah, into every like three. Say a store orders 308. Yeah, you got to package 308s, put the stickers on them yourself, and then ship them out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are things right now? Like as far as business, man, are you guys in very many stores? Are you guys kind of localized as far as Clarkston and Pullman go, or like what's
Um, we are actually a year ago we were pretty localized. We were in about 6 to 8 locations all around Eastern Washington, but now, I mean, we're in about 36 stores, and we're like in Seattle, Tacoma, Wenatchee, Yakima, Pullman, Spokane, like Hoquiam, like we're all over the state now.
that's good.
Um, we've turned the corner this year. Really, it's been a good year. So
That's dope, man.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
so you said you've been there working at the farm for a couple of years. So like their head guy just left and you got moved up or what?
Yeah, that's honestly that's what happened. The head guy and his grow team, it was just him and one girl. We have a pretty small farm, so it was just a guy and his girlfriend really growing, and they just had a parting of ways. They've been growing for like 2 years, and they wanted to do something else. And I think they're in Missouri now. I don't know what they're doing.
Damn. Well, fuck, man. Way to stick it out, Dale. You get man. head dude in charge, man. Fucking growing plants now. That's awesome, bro. Let me switch back to my cookie cutters again. Okay, Dale, can you hear me still, man? Are you still there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So my next question is, shit, his feed just cut out. Are you back there now?
I can hear you now, John.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
what do you feel is the smartest you've made on the path to where you're at right now?
Smartest move I've made, the path I'm on now. Crap, man. I don't know. I've made some pretty dumb moves. I left a
No, what's
agricultural
the
job.
smartest one? The smartest one first, man. You went to Australia. You know what I mean, like that's a smart move.
Well, I think honestly, just smartest move I've made is just getting back into agriculture, even though this is, a different side of agriculture. It's strictly just cannabis production. So I would say getting back into the game, because I wasn't in ag for the last 3 years really. I was waiting tables and being a barista, and moved to California for a year and was renting boats and shit. So
Tight. Well, that's cool, man. You're seasoned, Farmer Dale. Well, so the flip side of that coin is, what do you feel has been your biggest mistake on the path to where you're at right
I don't know, I guess, like being impatient, like you strive for things and you want them to happen, and you make moves to make them happen, and sometimes you make the wrong move, so you kind of learn as you go.
now? I heard that, bro. I've fumbled a lot. You know what I mean? And I still want to get back to cultivation. I haven't had my hand in the dirt for like 2 years, bro. And it's like I've been applying for jobs back in Oregon and shit. I'm like, man,
You
I
got
really
an
want to
itch.
do it again. So, what else, Farmer Dale? Is there something that you want to talk about specifically, man? Did you grow up there in the LC Valley? Like how did you find yourself in the area of cultivating in general? Did you just take the job in Australia and that's how you became specialized in it, or like what?
No, actually, I grew up in Clarkston here, and then
Okay,
there's a processing plant in town that's called Twin City Foods, or it used to be in town, and they grew sweet corn and sweet peas, and would like process them for packaging, frozen foods, shit like that.
that's
But
right there by
that's who I
downtown
worked for right
Lewiston.
out of high school. I was 18. I worked checking crops.
Word. That's You can smell it when they take the
Town.
peas
It
down.
used to be downtown.
It's that I
Oh
remember
shit,
you could
man.
smell it
Maybe.
in
Yeah.
pea season.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in high school, the mill in town shut down, and then so when I was 18, I had to go to Pasco, and I worked for them in Pasco checking crops in the Tri Cities.
Tight.
Yeah. But that's how I got into it, man. I just took a job out of high school into agriculture. I didn't really have any experience before that, so just kind of dove right into it, really.
Man, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's cool because what's his name? Will West Coast Chronic Bob. Like he has like a botany degree or something, so he went to school for it. And like he's super
No, that's his
intelligent.
ex-girlfriend.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, like it's dope to hear someone who found their way into it just through regular jobs and stuff, man.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely.
Because I saw my cousin doing it, and then when I moved in with Jackson, I saw that he was doing it, and so it's like I'm gonna get my card and do it too. So like, it's cool to hear people's stories on how they came to get into having the green thumb and such, man. Uh,
Definitely.
so
Quick
uh,
quick terp check. What's everyone smoking on right now?
Terp check. Some cookies floated through over here, bro. The homie down the street hooked it up. I still haven't renewed my
Some
card, but
some what?
some cookies, man. Corn.
Cookies, nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We just got a fresh batch of cookies in from 10-4.
Tight, man. I fucking miss that shit, bro. Those guys are
Oh,
tight.
yeah.
Yeah.
What you
about
smoking on, Farmer Dale?
Yeah. What about you?
You know
Farmerdale?
what? I actually got a blend of cookies rolled up too.
Yeah,
Tight.
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's our Hell's cookies, so it's Pennywise crossed with Girl Scout cookies.
Nice.
You guys
Yeah.
have the
Does
one-to-one
that
pen?
have any CBD in it, or is it a THC
Yeah,
Pennywise
yeah.
strain?
It was.
Wha-
What? So you guys got CBD in there with the Pennywise?
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's like really, really low. And there's CBG in there. It's like 0.2% CBG. It's not a lot.
That's dope. What? No,
That's
like
what's
Yeah.
up.
if I was a bud tender and I knew that, I could sell the shit out of that weed just because it has something other than THC in it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
fuck, buy this. It's cookies. Pennywise
Yeah.
in there. Like, that's dope. Okay, so that's another question off the top of the head, Farmer Dale. Is
Cookies.
what
You
sort
say
of strains
cookies
do you guys run
and
at your
people are like,
farm? Man?
all right, yeah.
What sort of strains do you guys run at your farm, Farmer Dale?
Hey, one more time.
What sort of strains do you guys run at your farm? Damn, I can't hear him now.
Okay, so right now we have a small facility, so we run 7 strains.
Wait, 7? Oh shit, his thing
Cookies.
is cutting out. God damn, man. Okay, anybody who's
Yeah.
listening right now, I fucking tried to start a rap group with Jack, and I was gonna call it 7 different kinds of smoke, and it was like that was gonna be the group name and shit, man. So fuck, that's tight. Can you tell us which 7 strains you run on your farm, Farmer?
Yeah, we got Hell's Cookies was that one that I just named, and then Gorilla Glue 4,
Yep,
Acapulco Gold, it's our like straight landrace
tight.
sativa. Shit, what else do we got? Blueberry Tahoe OG. I fucking
Damn.
love that. Heavy indica, man, tastes really good, diesely. Yeah, it's got that blueberry flavor to it too. It's nice. And then
That sounds fire.
oh god, off the top of my head, I can't even do it right now. Oh, we just started 4 new strains. That's why. Jesus OG.
Word.
Yeah. Have you heard of Jesus OG? And then
Nah, man. Where does that? What's the Jesus from?
that's a TGA Genetics 2.
Okay.
And that's Hell's Angels OG, like the Hell's
Okay.
Angels cut. Crossed with Jack the Ripper.
Oh, okay. Damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That Jack Herrera, that's a popular terpene profile, man. Real sativa effects with that shit.
Yeah, and it really is, dude. It's super tasty. Yeah, the sativa effect is crazy with that.
The moms would come in for anything Jack. You guys got Jack Herrera? Oh, no, we
That's
got
right.
this. We got this Cracker Jack. You know, we got all of these other derivatives, but
Yeah.
it's weird.
And
Moms.
then another strain we got Girl Time. That one's also a TGA Genetics.
Yeah, that's Girl Scout
Yeah.
cookies and Time Wreck, right?
That's right, man. Yeah, Girl Time. Yeah. And
I
then
scored that in Portland one time. I can't remember what store, but that's tight, dude. And then what
right
else?
now in Washington, I think we're the only farm grown Girl Time in Washington right now.
That's dope.
So that's cool.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and then 2 more. They were actually bred locally in Clarkston from a genetic breeder here in town. So Asphalt OG BX1, it's Asphalt OG back cross. That one's got so much genetics in it, I can't remember it off the top of my head, honestly.
Does it smell like fresh
The back
pavement?
cross for that one's wild. I'd have to give you the website to look it up.
Fuck, man, give me that
But
website.
then
Asphalt OG. Baked beans, cannabis seeds. God damn. Are you still there, Farmer Dale?
there you go.
Okay, so does it smell like fresh pavement? Does the Asphalt OG smell like fresh pavement?
I can hear you now. Yeah, it does smell like fresh pavement, dude.
Fuck. Okay, so
It's
these guys in Tacoma called Dungeons Vault Genetics, they had a strain called Grandpa's Breath, and it
yeah.
was like OG Kush Breath cross, but it fucking smelled like hospital smell, dude. You know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah.
it's similar to the asphalt smell, similar to terpene profile, you know what I mean? So like that trips me out. That makes me want to get some seeds of that and see what's up. Like, damn, that's dope. And then what was the last one? You had one more?
Yeah, the last one was purple cookie dough.
Whoa, that sounds tight.
Yeah, it's platinum, or excuse me, purple super dog crossed with platinum cookies.
Tight. That's
Yeah,
dope.
that one's sativa leaning hybrid. It's it tastes like, honestly, the description on baked beans is like a Christmas cookie, and it really does have a cookie scent, but it has like this lemon terpene, limonene, terpene flavor to it. It's like literally like a lemon snickerdoodle cookie. It's really good.
Hell yeah, man. Tight, man. You guys are growing in living soil too. You probably smell that shit good too. Um, so what do you okay, usually it's a medical grower that I would ask this question. Ah, fuck, his feet touch.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, so what do you envision for the future of the rec program that you're growing in right now, Farmer?
I would say probably to see if our farm can get a bigger tier license so that we can produce more. Just like I said, the farmer, or excuse me, so I think they'd have to get a bigger tier license to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
what did you say about the owner? They're trying to do you cut out for a second there, bro.
Sorry, can you hear me better?
Yeah, yeah. Can you give us that answer one more time?
I was just gonna say to help this farm, become a larger farm. Like the owner I was saying wanted to do outdoor possibly. So I would love to help him get that started in the outdoor process of finding ground and breaking ground on an outdoor farm for him.
Fucking A, dude. That sounds like
Yeah,
a hella dope idea, Farmer. Dude.
yeah,
That's
man.
that's my specialty, bro. Like I learned indoor game from my uncle in Seattle, but when it came to my own shit, I wanted to use the sun for the summer because it was a lot more affordable and I I had soil game, bro. Like that's I started making my own soil in 2014, bro, and I was really happy with the results, so I never went back, man. Never bought a bag of that shit ever since. I just load up a truck with compost and amend it myself.
That's right, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool that you like to grow outdoor, man. Honestly, if we get something going, at least I got a contact. I can contact you, and we can consult each other on some shit.
Yeah, man. Anytime, bro. And my parents stay out there in Lapway, so I haven't been
Nice.
home
So you're,
in I haven't been home in like 2 years, but the next time I slide out there, I'll definitely hit you up, bro.
dude, do it, and I'll get you a tour in the farm and everything, and
Hell yeah.
get you to connect with the owner, so that if he does start something, man, we got a person to maybe help us out.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm down. Totally down, bro. I'm with that
Yeah,
shit all day, all day.
people helping
Um,
people,
so
man. That's what the cannabis community needs to be about. Honestly, that's what it is about. It's the home grow and the medical growers back in the day, right?
yeah, dude, like that was the flip side of that question is what do you think about the medical program? Because I know there's still medical patients in Washington and I don't want it to just go away. I want people to still have the option to have someone grow their medicine for them instead of making it in
Agreed.
the store, you know what I mean?
I'm right. I'm right there with you. There needs to be more medical growers in my mind.
Yeah,
Not that everybody is going to be a good enough or knowledgeable person to do it, but if you allow more licenses to get out there, people can learn
I agree.
and
I
share
agree,
their
man. I,
knowledge to, and then also be like I've heard you say in episodes like at Thanksgiving, you just trade an ounce,
yeah,
like that type of
man.
shit. Like,
Yeah. That's the world I want to live in, Farmerdale. You know what I mean? everybody can grow their own plants in their backyard through the summer, whatever genetics they choose. And then when they lop their plants down and then dry them out, it's like Thanksgiving. I would rather have that be my
Yeah,
tradition. I'm trading ounces with my neighbors because the shit from next
yeah,
door smelled like the bomb, man. You know what I mean?
yeah, and then touching on that medical side of it too, there needs to be more medical growers, and then saying that. That being said, more genetics would get out there. You know, more scientific research would happen. I mean, it's all, it's only a good thing if there's medical field. So I hope it doesn't go anywhere.
No doubt. So, you know those beans, cannabis seeds? You know those guys, Farmer?
I don't know him, no, but you know, I know the grower at Hell's Canyon Genetics. He's a consultant for me. Really, I ask him a lot of questions. So
That's cool. I want to hit those
yeah,
guys up because, like, honestly, dude, you're the first person from the area where I grew up who was receptive to the idea of coming on the show, man. Like, we sent emails and called people.
really.
Okay,
Well,
so
shit.
it's really awesome to have you on here, bro. Like, it's really
Well,
cool.
dude, I'm humbled to be on here because, like I said, I'm still learning. So to have you guys reach out to me and think that I'm doing anything good in this, industry is nice to hear because, it's a tough industry for one, but yeah, I'm surprised nobody would want to talk about cannabis advocacy like
Yeah, man.
with you
Hell
guys.
yeah. And man, and you are doing good things, bro. Like organic soil is the way to be, man. And
Absolutely.
it's a lot of ownership doesn't really understand the culture or the community, and it sounds like your ownership does, and that's cool, man. Because I feel like the culture and the community still needs to exist through the recreational process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people
Absolutely.
still
And
gotta.
also and if you're a good organic grower and like growing vegetables or corn or seed, you know, it it all translates pretty easily, not like I think that, like a lot of vegetable growers could double as, like you have Farmer Dale, also double as like pretty good cannabis growers too. It's just a knowledge
Exactly.
of soil and what needs to go into the plant at certain times.
That's right. That's right.
And
And
and I'm not downplaying at all like what you do, that takes a lot of knowledge for sure, but just like, organic growing in its root is, I feel like very applicable across like, um a lot of plants.
Yeah, that's man. I want everybody to be able to grow their own. If it goes federally legal, don't require a license to throw plants in your
agree.
backyard, man. You can grow your own tomatoes or your own watermelons or your own pumpkins.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Then fucking let
Absolutely.
me grow my own weed plants too, man.
Yes.
So, I know we
Yep.
touched on this
I know
earlier
it.
in the interview, Farmer Dale, but what sort of ideas or concepts
Well,
are
and
you
and
trying to promote for the
and you've
future?
said it in past episodes too. You can grow all that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, my bad, dude. I couldn't hear you. Our audios were interrupting each other. I think there's a little bit of delay there.
Yeah, there was some delay. It's all good.
Did you catch my question?
Uh, no, ask one more time.
Okay, all good. So, what sort of ideas or concepts are you trying to promote for the future?
um,
I know we touched on this in the interview a little bit earlier, but I want you to elaborate as much as you want to.
so concepts and ideas for the future. I hope that yeah, federally it gets legalized so that more scientific research can be allowed for these medical growers and genetic breeders to continue making medicine for people that's going to help over the years. I mean, you can see that it helps fight with cancer and all these other diseases and helps with people with anxiety and depression, so why not continue to allow more and more research. That's one thing I want to happen. And then, just in the state that I live in, um, I don't know. I just hope that everybody that is growing is doing it consciously and holistically, and to the best of
Yeah.
their ability, because they are serving a community of consumers that love their product, right? So hopefully everyone's doing their due diligence as a grower and as a retailers to get it safely to consumers. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what about breeding, dude? So since you have all that corn breeding game, like what's your aim on that, dude? What sort of projects are you trying to work on? Like, do you have ideas of stuff that you want to breed, or what's the haps with that, man? Can I ask you about that? Are you still there, Farmer Dale?
Thinking about it, and that I do have a goal of starting to breed genetics. Maybe if
Oh, your feed cut out for a second,
Guys
Dale.
hear
We
me?
need you to start over.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry about that. So let's see. Yeah, I would like to start breeding. Just recently kind of popped into my head, like something I would like to do. Maybe if our farm could create space to have a breeding room, I could do it there, or if I get my own place in the future, because I'm living in Lewiston, like I said, can't really do anything in my house. So
Yeah,
to
you'd have to get
Clarkston,
a
get my own place.
patient.
So if I had a spot, could start breeding, and slowly learning things and trying stuff out. And yeah, I've thought of, honestly, I would love to be a medical breeder to get different cannabinoids and terpene profiles into strains that really alleviate things for people.
Yeah, man. I think guys doing that work probably have a lot of fun too. Just waiting for the test results, even.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this one had some CBG in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fuck, let's keep this one and keep trying. You know?
Yeah, and honestly, I have zero like knowledge of breeding, so I'm hoping that I can start getting into it soon. And like I said, I know a couple of genetic guys locally, but I've never been to their facilities. So that's probably one thing that's the first step right there, is getting in those doors and looking at
Yeah,
what they do. So
no doubt, man. I had my homie Smiley. He was on episode, I think it was episode 3 or 4, and he was my breeder homie in Portland. And once I met him, I would give him the males from whatever seeds I cracked. And I've only been to his house a couple times, but when I went there, it's cool, dude. Like, they have all kinds of little tests that they're running. Like, there was like a whole tray of fucking seedlings that were just dry as shit, man. It was like, it's a
that's
fucking
tight.
drug test. You know what I mean? It's like, man, the 2 or 3 that make it through that are gonna get used and bred with. I'm like, fuck, that's
Yeah,
cool, dude. You know?
I know that would be cool to see, dude.
Yeah, it was impressive. And then just how how they'd manicure the male to just have pollen seeds on certain parts, so there wasn't a whole bunch of that shit floating around everywhere. It's like, now we can see it's about to drop, so we'll pull all the leaves off and all those sacks except for these ones on the top. So it's like, man,
Yeah,
that's
see, like that's, I don't know anything about that. That's cool that and have seen that. Like I'm excited to learn this stuff. So
yeah, dude. I would suggest that episode with Smiley, and then the one with One Eye.
I've
He
actually
did.
listened to both those.
Oh, word. Yeah, One Eye was the
Yeah,
kid, bro. Like, he was.
yeah. Dude, this is actually your guys' podcast, and listening to a few of the episodes recently has been what's put the breeding thought into my head. I was like, do I need to start figuring out how to breed genetics?
Yeah,
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 Heck yeah.
man.
yeah,
I think there's not enough people doing that work, or at least good work. There's a lot of breeding companies out there, but I think there's still a lot of untapped talent that can make some really cool shit that everybody can enjoy in the community.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
All right, dude. So, is there anything else you want to talk about, Farmer Dale? I think we got about 10 minutes left. I think Will has to leave a little bit after 9. So, is there anything else you want to discuss, man? Like anything weed related or locally weed related? Do you guys have any social clubs over there in Clarkston where you can smoke or anything?
We don't have a social club, but there is connected to one of the uh dispensaries. There's a coffee shop, and it's called the Amsterdam Coffee Club. But they sell
Right.
like infused coffee and like CBD tinctures and stuff to take home and put in your coffee and stuff.
That's tight.
Yeah, and you
That's
can sit in
cool.
there and drink your coffee, and then you can walk right through. It's connected to the dispensary, so like you can just walk through one more door and go into the dispensary. It's pretty cool.
Tight, man.
That's cool. That's a lot better than there's a dispensary that, and no offense, because I generally like this company and this dispensary. They carry good product, but there's a dispensary called TJ's on Powell, and they claim to be coffee and cannabis, and they are because they do have a spot you can get coffee, a spot you can get cannabis, but it is and maybe this is just my expectations, so I can't say like can't be too critical on it, but I was like, oh, if you're saying coffee and cannabis, I'm gonna like expect, wow, is there like a little mini bar there, a little mini barista that can like make you like a latte or something, or like this. No, it's basically like a big machine that makes mass like drip coffee that they give out to customers, and I'm like, well, cool. Uh, I guess that is coffee, so I can't argue against it. But I would think there'd be I would think there'd be a little more craft behind it, not just a large vat for drip coffee that you give out to people. But hey.
Yeah,
No
that's
doubt.
funny as shit.
Yeah.
But
Cheap
also,
marketing.
that kind of concept, like, I don't know, like, what I was expecting too, because that kind of concept would be very tough to maintain, like a full service barista. Stoners don't wake up until later.
Yeah, I enjoy
So,
sleeping.
you know,
I try and work later so I don't have to
like,
wake up
shit,
so
I think I
early.
woke up at like noon today. Fuck.
Yeah, and then I'll drive Lyft sometimes till 3 or 4 in the morning. So it's like, man, I'm sleeping till noon at least. Like,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
and it's tough too sometimes
Yeah,
when the sun is out. I gotta hang up a blanket and shit, but nothing a couple bowls can't solve, fellas.
that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, what else, Farmer Dale? Like, what do you got cooking, man? We got a few
Uh,
minutes left, and then I want you to plug your social media before we do our outro.
yeah, for sure. I actually, John, I like what you talked about. You want like you want there to be coffee shop style lounges where people can go and smoke, like bar areas where people can go and smoke. Like I think they should do that at bars,
Yeah,
smoking lounge for people to smoke weed
even
safely.
even if it's a patio outside, you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
understand
exactly.
people don't want to catch their contact high. I understand that. That's cool, but there should be
Yeah.
a designated area. And
Yep.
if
Yeah,
people
cuz
can smoke cigs out somewhere designated, then why can't we smoke weed in a designated?
yeah, and I mean, we're allowed to carry it like in our cars from here to there, and we're allowed to have it on us, but we can't be seen smoking it in public. That's like one thing that I would like it to change. Like I want to be able to smoke a blunt while I'm standing at the bar and then walk inside and
Yeah.
reeking of weed and have no one care. Like, yeah,
Yeah, man, for real.
yeah.
That's the world I want to live in too. It seems like I've the last time it would like we were staying in a hotel in Clarkston, dude, and I would smoke outside, but my weed is hella loud, right? So I smoked a blunt before we left, and then we came in. It's like my son was a baby at the time, so it's like we packed him up, put him in the car, we left and dropped off the key. Like the lady who managed the hotel, or maybe she was just the cleaning crew, literally wrote me a letter and mailed it to my house saying, I think it's messed up that you guys
But
smoke around your kid. We don't allow weed smoking in the room. I was like, I didn't smoke in the room. Like, I smoked a backwood out in the parking lot, and then I went in and cleaned up all the shit and packed up. You know what I mean? It was weird. And it was just,
Jesus.
to me, it was just strange that she was so offended. And I'm like, man, it's wrecking this state, lady. Like, come on. And I don't think
Yeah.
maybe there wasn't stores
Like,
open in Clarkston at that time, but I was just like, man,
yeah, and that's just like mind your own business, man.
yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
not
I mean,
harming my child. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
yeah, yeah. My kid's smart too, man. So I let
Yeah,
her. She didn't know what the hell, man. Whatever she learned
yeah.
in the school was incorrect, man.
That's one of those like the cannabis stereotype, the stigma. It's like, can't believe that guy's
Yeah,
smoking weed and he has a kid. It's like, well, he's probably still a very responsible person. You don't know the guy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, man. Like that's a part of the podcast too, dude. I mean, we're having educated, intelligent conversations about cannabis here. We're not,
Yeah, I mean, it also could be Concerned Dad's podcast.
dude. When I
Uh,
tell people in the list, that's exactly what they think I'm saying, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's not that. We could do one of those though,
I'd
I guess.
probably try to include a few more cheesy jokes if that were the name of the podcast, but hey.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, can we get you to plug your social media and website too, there, Farmer Dale, for your company?
yeah, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yep.
For sure. So the company name on Instagram is at Hell's Canyon Cannabis, and then our other brand is at Mount underscore Olympus underscore Gardens,
Is it MT or MOUNT?
and then my personal Instagram is at Farmerdale underscore.
Okay. Is it MT or MOUNT for Mount Olympus?
I think it's spelled out,
Okay.
but I could be wrong.
All right.
We'll get him to confirm when he comes
Mount
back.
Olympus Gardens. It is MOUNT
Hey,
OLYMPUSGARDE.
hey, John, can you hear me now?
Yeah. I was just asking you if it was MT or MOUNT for Mount Olympus Gardens, and it looks like it's spelled.
Yeah, it is spelled out. Yeah,
Following you now. Tier 1
yeah,
indoor I-502.
yeah. And then my personal one is at Farmerdale.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yes,
Is there
sir.
anything else you want to say to any of our listeners, Dale, before we do our outro?
No, man. Thank you guys for having me, and I guess for the listeners, yeah, just keep listening to this podcast. These guys got good information and conversations about cannabis with your families and friends.
Awesome. Thanks for the plug, Farmer Dale. What about you, Will? You want anything before we cut out, Will?
Nope. Good on my end. Enjoyed listening to you, man.
Okay, cool. So next week, Will, I'm gonna ask you about that grand reopening and stuff and how that went.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start our outro dance, folks. This was the 22nd episode of Concerned Dabs podcast. I was your host, Katie M. Kane. With me was my co-host, Will Terps.
Later, y'all.
Guest tonight was Farmer Dale from Hell's Canyon Cannabis. We thank him for coming on the show. Also, Mount Olympus Cannabis. Excellent guest, man. Very cool experiences he shared with us. Hopefully, anybody listening will learn something from it and apply it to their game. I got to send a shout out to my guys in production, Mitchell Wilson and Jesse Curry. This has been a Main Node and Joseph Street Enterprise production.